Hello again. In this video I'll be going over solving one-step equations. So these are usually pretty easy. As the name suggests, it's just one quick step and you're done. And the difference between this and combining like terms is that here we actually do have an equal sign in all of these. So we are actually able to solve, in each case, we're able to solve for what the variable is, or the letter. So here x plus 5 equals 12, we can figure out what x equals. There's only one possible answer that can be. So in this case what we want to do is we want to get x all by itself, which means anything that goes along with x, in this case plus 5, we need to get rid of it. We want to isolate x, get it all by itself. So how do you get rid of that plus 5? Turns out you can get rid of it simply by doing the opposite. So the opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. So if we do the opposite, if we do minus 5 there, plus 5 minus 5 equals 0. It cancels out, it's gone. But this is an equation. Both sides always have to be equal. So any change that we make to one side of the equal sign, we have to make the exact same change to the other side. If you change both sides the same way, it'll still remain equal and it's still a good equation. So we subtracted 5 from this side. Let's subtract 5 from the right hand side. So we'll do minus 5 over here as well. Now what's left? Well, the 5 is gone. 5 minus 5 is 0. X is left. So x is equal to whatever is over here. 12 minus 5 is 7. Pretty short, pretty easy. We can always, of course, check our answer. That's not a bad idea. If we solve that x equals 7, let's put that back up here. In place of x, let's actually put 7 and see if this works. 7 plus 5 does equal 12, so our solution must be correct. Always a good idea to check those answers. So let's do the same thing over here. Now y minus 7 is equal to 3. We want to solve for y. Let's get rid of that minus 7. So the opposite of minus 7, the opposite of subtraction, is addition. So to get rid of that minus 7, we will just add 7. Negative 7 plus 7 equals 0. They cancel out. But again, this is an equation. Whatever we do to one side, we also have to make the exact same change to the other side. So y is the only thing left over here. The 7's are gone. Is equal to 3 plus 7 is 10. We want to check it. We could put 10 back in for y. 10 minus 7 is 3. How about down here? I've rearranged it a little bit so it looks a little different. Sometimes students kind of freak out about that if it looks a little different, but no problem. We're still going to do the same thing. We want to get u in this case. U is our variable. We want to get it by itself. We want to get rid of this thing. We want to know what u equals all by itself. So let's get rid of this minus 5. What's the opposite of minus 5? The opposite is plus 5. So negative 5 plus 5 equals 0. They cancel. But this is an equation. Any change we make to one side, we have to make the exact same change over here. So if we add 5 to the right, we add 5 to the left. Alright, negative 15 plus 5 is negative 10 equals what's left over here? Nothing but u. So u has to equal negative 10. Let's mix it up a little bit now. Let's throw in a little multiplication this time. So now we have negative 12 times x is equal to 36. Negative 12 times x is equal to 36. We still want to solve for x. We want to get x by itself. So we need to get rid of that pesky times negative 12. Well, what's the opposite of multiplication? That's what you always want to ask yourself. To get rid of something, you do the opposite. The opposite of multiply is divide. So instead of multiplying by negative 12, we will divide by negative 12. And negative 12 divided by negative 12 is 1. So they cancel one another out. But any change we make to one side of the equation, we have to do the exact change over here. So if we divide the left by negative 12, we divide the right by negative 12, leaving us with x is equal to 36 divided by negative 12 is a negative 3. A positive divided by a negative, of course, will leave us with a negative answer. And you can put -3 up in here for x to check your answer. -12 times -3 does equal positive 36, so it's correct. And the last one, what if there's some division in our problem here? This is again something that students often get confused on, but if you have a problem like this, a divided by 8 equals 4. The thought process is the same. We want to get a by itself. We need to get rid of anything that goes along with a. In this case, we need to get rid of divided by 8. If you do the opposite of divided by 8, you'll get rid of it. So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So let's just do this. The opposite of divided by 8 is times 8. So if we multiply both sides by 8, the 8's here will cancel, and of course we have to multiply this side by 8 too. So the 8's are gone, we're left with a is equal to 4 times 8 is 32. So we solve for a. And in this last one, a divided by -2 equals 50. We want to get a by itself. We need to get rid of this divided by -2. How do you get rid of divided by -2? The opposite of divide is multiply. So let's multiply both sides by -2. So I'm going to multiply by -2 here. -2 divided by -2 is 1. They cancel out. Any change we make to the left, we have to make to the right side of the equation as well. So we multiplied by -2 here. We will multiply by -2 over here. So a is equal to 50 times -2 is -100. So there's our answer. So these are solving one-step equations. All we need to do here is one quick step to get rid of one number. We get the variable by itself, and then we know what that variable equals. Solving one-step equations. Next up, as you might guess, two-step equations.